Blah. Where the fuck can I put y'all? Everything needs to be balanced like Thanos. Chat, if Thanos got a BBL, it would be perfectly balanced. Ah! This phone is gonna break. I shouldn't be doing this to a brand new phone. Look, I think it's already kind of messed up now. I'm just gonna put you. That makes me angry. I don't know how it looks like I'm gaining weight when I'm not eating. But it is what it is, guys. We're just gonna hang out and have some conversations, Give a little bit of updates in life. There we go. What up, everybody? It's me, your favorite homeless guy. Just kidding, I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I was able to transfer the money that I got yesterday to my Cash App. I bought cigarettes. So I spent $20, but I had enough. Now I have like 160, so I'm going to have 30 left over that I'm going to keep. And I was able to buy that Avo Forest tent stove. Which means that when it gets here on January 6th, I can haul that bitch into my tent. And you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to light that bitch. And then I'm going to clean it all. I found my toothbrush. Look at my fucking disgusting teeth. Found my toothbrush, finally. Which means I can mosey on out of here. If you didn't know, those kids that tried to crush my head in with a log bullied a 14-year-old girl until she killed herself. So I'm arguing, of course, you know Casey. I'm arguing with somebody on Facebook because her status as the admin of the town Facebook page has really gotten to her head. So I hit her with some righteous truth, some dark justice, and she lost her head. But we'll see. I'm only one man, I can't do everything, but I made an uncensored group for the town so that if people want to go on the town page and say, hey, these kids bullied my daughter until she killed herself, I'd like some accountability. And they happen to be the same kids that tried to kill me by dropping a log off a 10-foot cliff to crush my head this year. And then they told everybody that they killed me and that they're going to kill every homeless person they see. It just happens to be the same kids that bullied a girl until she killed herself this year. So I took it upon myself, okay, I'm going to make a change. I'm here to make a change. So I made an uncensored Facebook group. And anytime anybody says anything that the admin gets really ego-tripping power stuff, I'll be like, come over to my page. Unless she goes nuts and blocks me. Like she did my last profile when she found out I was homeless. Isn't that crazy? This town is still in the 60s, man. Most of the people here are old. I rarely find anybody my age. Like the people that are out here are in like freshmen in high school or are in their 40s. And the kids don't go outside, they play video games. They get high at home. What me smoking, Unk? Native American spirits. But these are made in fucking England. Like the video. Top of the morning to you laddies, it's me, Markiplier, and I'm here homeless outside. It's cold. There's a bunch of whiny colonizers wearing nice clothes that are sitting there posturing to each other in my laundromat where I charge my devices. So I said, you know what, you guys get what you give, and for you, I will be the bigger person and charge my devices and come out here and wait until you're done. And then they all twitched, and then I left. Hey, I'm an Indian. I don't know what I am. I didn't know my grandpa. But I'll tell you that the Egyptian hieroglyphs show people with eyes of Horus that are very not thick, that wear feather headdresses and feather dresses on their arms. And the only other culture in the entire world that does that, what's on the pyramids, that practices the culture on the pyramid hieroglyphs from thousands of years ago, the only people that still do it to this day are the Native Americans. So I have a strong feeling that the star people that the natives say they're descended from were actually an advanced civilization that left the pyramids as a black box. So you get the first, and you can decode the hieroglyphs, and then when society advances to a point that they can use LiDAR, fuck off. Then they can get underneath. And then once they have AI capable of doing more complex tasks, they assumed that humanity would have a level of morality evolved to their level of technological capability. So you can't access the cool shit until you're capable of accessing the cool shit. And then I think they put it right there because the Egyptian New Year, where Sirius comes from the top on the Egyptian New Year, August 8th, the Lion's Gate portal. And everything refreshes. Not the Native Americans of today, but the people they are descended from did. Which is why Columbus landed in Cree territory first. All you have to do is look at a picture of the fucking Thunderbird, and you're like, oh shit, that's just right there in the pyramids. Every aspect of, I think it's Crow, to be honest. I think it's the Crow people, right? They invented the war bonnet, and then the Cree took over that practice. The children of the Thunderbird that's in ancient Horus. And the Jews have only been around for 400 years. Before that, the true Israelites were the Irish. They were the breakaway Hebraic that weren't doing that type of sacrifices, and they evolved into the true Israelites. And that's why when it says the world will come against them and see them as the enemy, and you look at like what people have been constantly attacked and have had to fight for their creativity. This little island that had the Vikings, the Catholics, the Jews, Islam now, the English, the Freemasons. Watch. There's such thing as Crow people, you fool. Yeah, they're called the Absolute, the children of the Thunderbird. The French called them crows as a derogatory term. All I'm saying is if you look at the hieroglyphs and you look at the way that they're dressed and the culture they practice, and then you look at what other culture in the world in all of history is the only other culture that does that, and it's the Native Americans. And you look at, I think it's Sitting Bull, right? If you look at Sitting Bull with the feather behind him and the way that his eyes look like the fucking Eye of Horus, they look like lizard people. Just saying. But I'm not saying they're the ancient Egyptians. I'm not saying those people can build the pyramids, but I'm saying that look what we did in 100 years. And humanity has been around, civilization has been around for more than 2,000. Way more than 2,000. I'm thinking that a lot of those places that we take as a desert were probably nuked. I'm saying that if you look at fossilized structures like Devil's Tower and you dig in, you find that the rocks are in the hexagonal shape of plant cells. Those are giant fossilized trees like in Avatar. There's also one of those giant fossilized trees has a giant fossilized rock that looks like a fucking giant axe. And then every single culture in the world talks about gigantic beings. I don't think they just made that shit up. I think they invaded America on purpose. Yeah, 33 vertebrae in the spine. 33 degrees is right when it stops to freeze and everything breaks away so you can come back to the infinite. Jesus died at 33. That's all it is. But I got my tent stove that's going to get here on January 6th. Which means hopefully my cabin tent will show up like a couple weeks after that. I'm hoping to be able to get a skillet out there and be able to start getting chicken and protein shakes so that I can start eating eggs and chicken and be healthier, because I want to at least start working out again. I've tried all the different horse farms. Nobody's willing to take me in. I don't have a car to be a ranch hand. And I have a bunch of stuff I don't know what to do with that is like sentimental to me. So I'm looking for a property I can buy for very cheap, like an acre on somebody's land or something. They have like 100 acres and they're like, I don't want these people taking my land. And I'm like, I'll take it over. If you're going to die and you're worried about your land going back to the government, I will help steward it. Just for right now, let me have an acre to dump my stuff into, like a I don't know, like a worn down, broken up box truck or something that I'll make the roof able to survive the weather. That way I can keep my stuff long enough to travel and do more with my life. Today, I'm walking 2 miles from my tent to town. Somebody emerges from the side and walks in front of me and is just like slowly walking in front of me the entire way to town. When I get to town, I have 3 specific things I want to do. I want to check the bus schedule. I want to check the gas station. I want to check the library. I want to check this building, see if it's shoveled and needs shoveling. And then I want to go to the other gas station to pick up some food, possibly. And this person, every time I was at a place, that person would be standing there, just staring at me. I would do the things I need to do, and then I would turn around and the person was walking. So I have to follow behind the person again. That person then goes exactly where I wanted to go, to the closed business, and just stands there staring at me. I do the thing I need to do, and then I get up and I go to the next place, and the guy is walking, and he goes to the next place I need to go. And he's just standing there staring at me. And he does that 5 or 6 times until the person is literally just standing on the other side of this drop-off right here over there, and he was just standing there staring at me. And I don't know what that is or why. Every single place that I wanted to go when I decided to leave the tent, that person went and was just standing there, staring at me, doing nothing. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Am I not ready to accept it's a Truman Show? Is that what it is? Let's just say it's not a coincidence. I'm a 33 life path, born in the 11th, and then my family was involved with the DuPont family, and my grandfather was a Wall Street banker. My great-grandfather on my father's side was something so high up that when cars were first invented, people would come pick him up and take him to places, and my family didn't really know where he went. But people would show up in the first ever cars to pick up my great-grandfather back in the day, and they would take him away for a while, and he was in the military. We don't know what he did. But then the DuPont family and the 33 life path, and my dad's a 10-3, and I'm an 11-33, and Leo, Libra, and then I'm a Sagittarius, Aquarius. There's an obvious thing there that, let's just say it was kind of a stage. It would make sense that I was literally forced to be in this place where all the street names are named after the people I love. The same set of names that keep following me. Where if I go to a random place in the middle of nowhere, the first person I meet will be one of 7 names, and those one of 7 names will lead me to one of 14 names, and they all are interconnected in the story that I have to live inside. And then if I try to leave and escape, I break down somewhere else and I relive the same exact cycle with the same exact names, even if they're different people. That makes more sense than it's just a coincidence. It's either an orchestration of some type of intelligence in the physical or an orchestration of some type of intelligence in the spiritual. There's no other explanation for it. I think it's really concerning that I wanted to be the king in the north my whole life, and then I found out the king in the north is what they called the Antichrist back in the day. So I stopped calling myself the king in the north. And I found that out after I wrote Hawaii. There's a bald eagle flying right above me. I'll show you. Not right above me, but right to left. It makes sense to me. And it was forced to make sense to me. I didn't used to be like this. I used to think about it. Like, I remember when I was 18, on my way to college, I stopped at my aunt's house at the Great Lakes, and I never met them before, and they took me to their old nursery room. And while I was laying in there, I could feel like they were really happy to have met me, and things were nice. But while I'm laying there, I remember really vividly, while I'm laying there, I can remember, because I wasn't as spiritually in tune as I am now, like things like that. Thank you, I grew up myself. Things like that, where if I'm making a song in my mind or just thinking about things, and then all of a sudden I see a giant Native American man with a headdress trying to help me make my song, and I could see him literally extend his hand and start to shape the frequencies different. And then I find out that side of the family is Native. Much later. Stuff like that. Or like when people would do mushrooms around me, or if I was going to my friend's house and they were doing mushrooms. Several different occasions, they would say that they felt like there was this giant looming over the hillside staring at them, and it made them terrified. And right when they felt like it was right at the door, like it had this giant arm about to go into the thing and scare them, I knocked. And I was like, hey guys, what's up? And then you're like, okay. 1133, the divine child inside the giant connection between man and nature, the heavens and the underworld. That kind of makes sense. Why I had this dream where I was this tree, because I read Game of Thrones with Bran when he became the three-eyed raven, and he became the elder tree. And I had a dream that was the case, and the ice caps were melting, and it was releasing these spiritual things that were in bacteria. There were these giant spiritual beings, like these giant black spiders, and they were coming out of the ice because it was melting, and these bacterias were going to get in everybody, and that would connect them to this creature. And now we have Stranger Things with the Mind Flayer, which is pretty much exactly that. We have Native American pyramids. Indians made pyramids. Look, that's what we were talking about earlier. Angeline, Angel Lion, 9339. I started this live stream talking about how the natives are descendants of the star people, which are the ancient Egyptians, and that's why the hieroglyphs depicting people in feather dresses on their arms and on their head with the turquoise and the tight dresses, and they're not big booty bad like Africans. You know, they had the material to depict the hieroglyphs as dark skinned, and they didn't. They made them look like natives. And the only other people in the world that still have that culture and still practice it to this day are the Central North Americans, like the Absolute, and then later went to the Cree, the Plains tribes. And I'm not saying they did it, but I'm saying they're the descendants of the people that did it. I think the Star people are people that were in an old advanced civilization that were able to go to space. I think they transcended this realm and they come back to help us, the same way that we're going to transcend this realm and come back to help monkeys. And they said star people, not sky people. James Cameron had them say sky people in Avatar, even though they came from the stars. Because I think he's not allowed to say star people. Somehow I have to make a lot of money. I'm supposed to. I need like this big building on top of a hill overlooking a big view that's pretty far out of the way. I don't know where that's going to be, maybe in Vermont. Because Vermont's pretty nice and there's not a lot of people there. It's just fucking expensive. What's in the Grand Canyon? I don't know, but in Rick and Morty they say that's where an old advanced horse people are. Horse people? Also, Quaritch, the main bad guy in Avatar, has a 33 tattoo on his back. He's a 33rd degree Freemason. Which is weird because for him to be a 33rd degree Freemason, he'd have to be a lot more spiritual than he was. Or than he acted. I like Quaritch's story because his whole thing was that he felt trapped in Hell's Gate, which is what they called the first base, and he saw the Navi as enemies that he was at war with, so he felt like a caged animal going to war, and he really identified with that war. And then Quaritch died going to war, and his memories were uploaded into an avatar, and now the avatar is just there, like, I'm not Quaritch, but all of his memories are here with me. But also, Quaritch died in... We really have no idea, because the movie stops. And by the time you see Quaritch, after they leave Quaritch in the mech, is when he's a skull. So we really don't have any idea at this moment if Quaritch was able to be... If Ava had grown into Quaritch and then left him. But I think we would have seen a lot of overgrowth if that was true. But maybe in the future avatars it will be revealed that Quaritch, there was a divine cosmic intelligence separate from Ava that Quaritch was with. Because Awa is a parasite. She's like she's Mother Earth. She's the goddess of Pandora. But she's also like this parasitic force that is in everything. And that everything is a part of. It's a hive mind that's connected and evolved Pandora since it got there. Whether it was there first or it evolved there, or there was a civilization that died and A was the remnant of whatever that was. Either way, you can find out in the comics that Awa said the reason that people on Pandora seem like savages is because Awa has rules for those tribes that they're not the shaman mothers or whatever of each tribe that can commune with Ava. They don't speak to it, or Awa. They don't speak to it directly like Sigourney Weaver's clone can. But Awa had given commandments, and the only commandments were that you can't mine, you can't build with stone, and there was something else. Oh, you cannot use the wheel. Wheels, building with stone, and mining resources are forbidden to the Na'vi people. Because with the wheel comes roads and comes advancement. Using stone creates blockages in buildings that separate. And mining resources is pretty obvious. You have to leave everything as they are and let it grow together. And that's how you have like this supernatural, natural technology. Because A was doing it, and A was doing it the best way that honors nature. And when man tries to do it, you see what happens. I know that I really like the movie Train Dreams. If you haven't seen it, you should watch it. It made me cry twice. No cap. In Train Dreams, basically, there was one spiritual guy that was like expressed that he hated what was happening to the forest because he was connected. He felt a connection to it, but he didn't understand anything about the forest or why it does what it does. And then a branch falls on his head and gives him brain damage, and then he seems completely incoherent and dysfunctional to everybody. But to the one guy that's also spiritual, he realizes that the guy just had because of his brain injury, he was able to connect to the forest finally. And I think the forest kind of forced its hand because the one guy that was aware of what he was doing and cared about the forest but continued to hurt the forest was the one that got hurt, not the people that stayed ignorant. Because they would get brain damage and they would just be like, yeah. But he was like, everything is so beautiful, isn't it? Okay. That guy's gone, so I can go back to the laundromat. He was twitching, he was freaking out. He runs his own business, so he should be functioning in like a good example for the society, but he's not. He was trapped in power games and posturing and a bunch of bullshit. And the more my 33 energy came through, the more he started to freak the fuck out. And it was at the point where he kept trying to challenge me by like stomping shit. And I said, you get what you give, man. And it's really funny because people like that aren't able, like, when you just say it flat out that yes, the spiritual thing is happening.
Okay, I don't understand that. Why did a supervisor tell me that they would have a technician there today, 10 days later?
Her Wi-Fi's out.
I would not have to go to another week without.
She's crying.
And here I am, going without.
Because she doesn't have Wi-Fi.
I can't. I know there's nothing you can do. There's got to be somebody that can do something. There has to be someone. Every single technician is out on vacation.
It's Christmas.
Is there somebody else to talk to? What's the earliest appointment they said?
Her ancestors just communicated with my ancestors, and I was given the solution that she needs. She's crying. She doesn't have Wi-Fi. She can't talk shit about people on Facebook.
I can't go home. I have nothing there. I can't get phone calls. I can't work.
True. She works online. It all depends on if she can get cell service out there. She might be faking. Yo.
Sorry.
You're good. Sorry to bother you. Do you get cell service out there?
At my, I should.
If you do, there's this thing called Skyroam Internet, which is like this little box that you plug into the wall.
What did you just say? I'm sorry.
I'll be here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going anywhere.
Faking.
What was
She's
that? I'm so sorry.
Oh.
I've been waiting since last Friday and I'm just beside myself.
You're good. There's this thing called Skyroam Internet, which is
Skyroam Internet.
yeah, it's like this little. I knew a guy that lived in his van, and as long as he had power for it, and it's like a portable charger, you don't have to keep it plugged in. As long as you can get cell service, it's like a mobile hotspot on your phone, so you can get connected to it like a cell phone with your computer and everything.
Okay, see, I can't, we're on Braintree, so when I get there, I have no cell service.
No cell
I
service.
have nothing. And they keep telling me, it's escalated, we'll get it done.
Yeah, and that's been happening for like.
I'm getting meaner and meaner, and I don't
Yeah.
mean to. I know it's the holidays, but I work from home, and yeah, I
It's your
can't.
livelihood, you know. I get it.
I want to get legal advice, and I'm like, what are they gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the only.
Watch the ball drop. I can't. There's no
That's-
TV. There's
that's
no
true.
music. There's no phone.
And I don't know if there's any like local, what's Elon Musk's thing, where Starlink. That's like the only other thing I can think of is something that they have satellites that you can connect
Yeah.
to, and with like a monthly service.
I'm gonna have to call for another service because I can't do this. A tree fell, took down the electrical wire and the Wi-Fi, and the electricity was put back on the next day. I've seen chimney sweepers out today
Mhm.
getting on roofs, and they can't get me a technician to take a wire from this tree that fell and reattach it. I don't get it.
Have you tried like Randolph Resources on Facebook?
No.
There's like a Facebook page called Randolph Resources. It is what it is. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. If you just say like, hey, my Wi-Fi's out and I need somebody to come and fix it, willing to pay whatever, we could work it out. There's a lot of people that probably would be willing to take a look at it at least, or would know somebody.
Resources?
On Facebook, it's a group, yeah.
Okay. I'm in town and I'm
Yeah.
gonna try that one. Thank you.
No problem.
I know, my partner even said that he would, he said, I'm about to get up on that wire and check it out. I'm like, go for it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Let's get my phone to 100 and get out of here. I don't know if I have enough for food today. Yeah, but they think that that's what I talk about. No social challenges. And a belief that they are superior. And they are sophisticated and they are deserving of things.
You've been wonderful. I'm so sorry
So-
to be so snippy with you. I'm so sorry.
No, she's not. But it's okay. That's probably why the other guy left. He thought he had it with me. He thought I was bothering him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're dead.
I'm getting old, Chad. My life's kind of a waste. It is what it is. It is what it is. What's my charge at? 35. Let's get it at least to like 70. Which means we're gonna have to be here a half hour. I could always come back. Just I can't afford to eat. Do I want to spend the last of my money on 2 burritos? Or just wait for 2 days? It's like $2 cheaper to get 2 Hot Pockets. Instead of 2 burritos, but the burritos make me feel better, the Hot Pockets make me feel worse. God, it's like $9 for those 2 burritos because it's hard to get out into the mountains, so everything's expensive. Even at the dollar store, it's not any cheaper. Like a bag of chips is like $7 out here. Hey man, in between now and then, I was able to cash out myself the Venmo, and it was instant. If you got a delay on your end, but I did not get it. What's up with this Israel stuff? Come on, man. The Irish people are the true Israelites. True story. Yeah, let's go get food. Fuck it. Let's get some food. We'll get 2 Arizonas and 2 burritos. And I should be able to go to sleep around 10 and then wake up dude, I don't know. Did they just copy the original Abrahamic religion, or were they a breakaway civilization? With the Moors that were there, and the Celts, which were the native Europeans, slowly moved onto the island. But originally, it was the true Israel. And that's why the prophecy is that they'll be seen as the enemy for thousands of years until they're victorious. But Israel was never the enemy. The people of Israel and the Jewish people want to be seen as the enemy so that they can fulfill the prophecy because they feel like they're entitled to it. The Irish don't feel that way. They just want to make music. And I can relate to that. I think God's chosen people would be a bunch of child sacrificing shit stirrers that attack the world and do mass killings. No. They would be the people stuck and trapped and fighting to hold on to their sovereignty. All right. Best of luck to you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Stay warm and safe.
Thank you. membership and muted. Needed a DLC to have an afterlife to make you feel better? No. I was raised without culture. All this stuff comes from God. When I'm out in the woods and I commune with my ancestors, and then all the birds surround me, and then I connect to a higher level of intelligence, and that makes something mad, and I have video proof that it attacks me over and over again. When I get to this level of connection, go back to just a couple months ago, where I titled the video "Casey Gets Violently Attacked," where you can see me literally connect to God, and then immediately the gang stalker shows up, and then someone else peels in after the gang stalker leaves and tries to hit me with fear and control and terror. And in the entire conversation, the guy is trying to justify why he is wrong, but he can't break free. And that stuff happens a lot. But I'm a 33 life path born in the 11th, named Casey, like the tree of life. O'Brien, which just means exalted with power. And my Jupiter is in my 12th house in Aries. I have an Aquarius moon. And Sun, Mercury, and Pluto in the 8th house, which all directly links to thriving in isolation and having to be placed away from everything. And then channel that through the 11 with the 8th house of Scorpio with rebirth. And I happen to be a Sagittarius. Sun, Mercury, and Pluto in the 8th house, which means that I rejuvenate to the highest level of God. Sagittarius is the goat of the zodiac, not Capricorn. Sagittarius is the greatest of all time. They're the oldest souls. Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus. They only put Christmas on the 25th because that's Baal's birthday. B-A-A-L. Christmas is a pagan ritual. Because that same cult, like the cube inside the Star of David, the Christian cross folded up into a cube, Mecca, Trump Tower, Black Rock. Look up Saturn worship, celebrities, and logos. You'll see that it's all a cult. They're pretending to be the true people, but they're not. The Irish are. $7.
Yes.
Morning.
How are you?
Good, how you doing?
Good. Burrito. Anything else?
No.
That is $7.63. I put mine in, but it's stupid. Do you need those cooked?
Yeah, if you can. Soon I will have a tent stove, so I'll be able to do it myself. Yeah. How deep down the rabbit hole do you want to go? I would start with, what's that eye on the pyramid? It's Mecca. Black Rock. That owns everything. Inside the Star of David is that 3D optical illusion of a cube. And when you fold up the Christian cross, it's a box. What is that box? And then it's the hexagon on top of Saturn with the cube eye inside of it. which is why the new year doesn't start on August 8th like the ancient Egyptians. It starts in Capricorn season. And that's why everything builds up to Christmas, which is at the start of Capricorn. That's why LeBron is the GOAT. Eminem is the GOAT. That's why they throw up the GOAT horns. I suddenly have to sneeze. But I want to have charge to be able to sit out in the woods, so I'm gonna go. Goodbye.